After 2 victories on the road, Falkirk were looking for some home comforts and also to put an end to any suggestions of an Ochilview jinx. When hard-working Brent Rahim was brought down in the early stages, Jim Sharp took the opportunity to score his first goal for the Bears. Given the size of Sharp, you can only wonder how he was missed by the entire Raith defence. The acrobatics of Gonzalez to no avail. John Hughes' side was livelier than they have been for some time, giving the home fans some hope that they can be competing for the title at the end of the season. Colin McMenamin put in a good shift. From his cross came the corner that led to Falkirk's second goal. Big Yogi proving smarter than the average bear. No boo-boo from McMenamin. Just a sharp finish to provide daylight between the sides. Only his third goal since arriving from Livingston in the summer, but a great finish from McMenamin. But if Falkirk were looking for a result, Rovers were just as desperate for the points. With just one win in the last 6 games going into this match, John Sutton brought them back into the reckoning before the break. You can see what it means to the Raith striker. His goal unkindly described as a sclaff in one Saturday paper. Rovers, however, wasted little time in undoing their good work. Within 15 minutes of the restart, McMenamin had been fouled, and his double act with Hughes paid off once again. Antonio Calderon won't even want to think about what Vincent Taglio was up to. What he did was present McMenamin with a simple chance. 3-1 Falkirk, and it was only now that Raith began to play as they can. Sutton, I'm sure, would have accepted another sclaff here. His reaction tells the story of a bad miss and a wasted opportunity to get Rovers back to within touching distance. Raith were the driving force now, with Sutton and Ryan Blackadder involved in a move that led to Goran Stanic trying his luck from the edge of the area. Alan Ferguson relatively untroubled in the end, but in their next attack, Rovers cut apart the Falkirk defence. We've seen the worst of Taglio. This was better from the defender, setting up Martin Prest, who in turn set up Blackadder. (3-2) and Rovers back in contention. The Falkirk defence perhaps guilty of ball watching. Blackadder taking advantage. On a night for goals, the Highland derby finished 3-3. This game might have had a similar result. Rovers resisted the temptation to fire in high balls. Craig Stanley found space, and his shot came off the outside of the post. And Falkirk held on for 3 wins in the trot. They're title challengers once again.
John, I suppose at the end of the day, that was a close call for you at the end of it. Yep, that's why it's a great victory, and it's nice to score goals at Ochilview, you know, but I'm very angry. We should have made it a lot more easier for ourselves, and we've got experienced players, and you're looking for experienced players to have the composure, and as I say, to make it a lot more easier. And at the end of the day, we were hanging on there.
I'm of the opinion that if we score 2 goals away from home, we should be winning the game. So it's not good enough to keep giving cheap goals. Something we have to keep working on the training session, on the training park, because it's been too bad lately.
Well, Raith Rovers' John Sutton scoring again this weekend, on the losing side this time, of course, but he's been speaking to David McKinney.
John Sutton exploded onto the Scottish scene this season with 6 goals in his first 4 games for Raith Rovers. A walk in the park, it would seem, but I had to ask, why sign for Raith?
Well, it was just an opportunity, and that's what I wanted. I started off at Tottenham, and so I'm playing youth and reserve team football there, and reserves at Leicester, and it's certainly not as competitive, and the games don't count for as much. So, you know, it's been a very good opportunity for me.
Looked for a little opening of service in second one. That does it. Chris Sutton.
You might have heard of John's brother. He's been known to score a goal or 2, and John took his total for the season to 11 on Friday night and says Chris has been a big help.
Obviously, it's good that I can look up to someone like him and sort of take little tips and you know, keep my standards high, because obviously you've got to work hard to get to that level, but it's no pressure in any way. If anything, it's a good thing.
Did you speak to him about Raith? Could he fill you in? Did he know anything about them himself?
Well, I think a lot of people know about Raith for winning the League Cup and playing Bayern Munich in Europe, but obviously, to an extent, you have to go in there and see for yourself what it's like. It's been very good so far. I've had the chance to play first-team football, which I think has developed my game, and I've been enjoying it, although we've been struggling a little bit recently to get results.
It's a case of one game at a time for Sutton, but he is hoping his time at Raith Rovers will provide the launchpad to bigger things.
You can never tell. I mean, you'd obviously like to think so. The big European games and sort of just playing in front of a very big crowd every week would be fantastic. But
well, he's obviously a young man who's looking to get on to bigger and better things. And do you think he has what it takes, Alan?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I think anybody can score goals will always get a lot of attention, and John certainly managed that. I was at the game when he played a trial game, and David Martin and Tony from Raith Rovers were there, and he was the outstanding player in the park, scored that day, and you could see even then that he had a lot to offer and holds the ball up really well as well. He's got a great first touch. I think he's been a big player for them.
Good attitude as well. I mean, he was saying there he could have kept on playing for Leicester reserves, but he wanted first-team football to sharpen himself up, didn't he?
Yeah, I think obviously you look at the players that Leicester City brought in as well, indicates that it was going to be hard for him to get a game there, so I think he has done the right thing.
Now, David mentioned in his report there that one newspaper said this was a sclaff. I thought it was a great goal.
Oh, adjusts his feet really well, and it's a good strike with his left foot. You see the other clips, he scored goals with his right foot, so he's obviously quite adept with both, and obviously big lad, you expect him to be strong in the air as well, so he's got a lot to offer, John. I think he's a good player.
And Mr Calderon said in his interview that you scored 2 goals away from home, you expect to win. They almost got 3 and it fell to this man Sutton as well.
Yeah, he'll probably feel he should have scored that one, I would think. But we spoke about Raith Rovers earlier in the season, Jim, and we spoke about the goals they've been losing, and static defending from some set pieces, and I think that was exactly what happened again on Friday, especially the first one when the guys had so much space for the first goal.
Yeah, Falkirk the winners though.